This is a film about the way that a group of teachers have been discovering how to enhance the learning and attainment of their pupils. The government here in England has produced many initiatives over the past few years, all aimed at helping children achieve their full potential. They have attended to the curriculum, the structure of schools and individual learning needs. But there continues to be a proportion of children who are not yet reached. What holds them back has not yet been fully attended to. We at the Nowhere Foundation are a group of educationists who have been developing an approach to learning and behaviour based on a special understanding of human systems. We set out to see if we could make a contribution to this challenging problem. We created a series of action research projects with primary school teachers based in Wiltshire, funded and supported by the DFES. Our hope was that we could help the teachers take on some challenging new perspectives that would in turn make the children feel safe and included as learners in school, and would also support the teachers to connect with themselves and their purposes and their children in ways that made their work more satisfying and enriching. Our work was based on an approach developed by the German family systems therapist Bert Hellinger, often referred to as constellations. We have taken some of that understanding and explored its relevance and potential in the classroom. The teachers received 3 days of training altogether and continued to have school-based support to develop their practice over several months. With us, they became active teacher researchers and innovators. Over this time, the teachers made some profound shifts in their outlook, that all of us are embedded in systems to which we owe our survival: the family, the classroom, the school and community. Loyalty to these systems is a powerful force and can either aid or prevent school attainment. We have a conscience guiding our loyalty to each, even when sometimes they are in conflict. And as children, many of us have also been recruited into playing a painful role in maintaining balance for those systems, even in ways that are individually damaging. It began to make more sense to see children and their systems as completely interdependent, rather than seeing them just as individuals. The teachers discovered how these systems were known and the knowledge stored in an embodied way by everyone. They learned that they could represent even complex or mysterious dynamics by using people or objects in a map or constellation. They learned about the importance of attending to the basic human need to belong and to pay the price of belonging, to manage give and take between people and to act respectfully towards every member of each system. By attending to belonging and changing the climate for learning, we found that levels of engagement and attainment did improve, even for the hard-to-reach 20%. What follows gives you a flavour of some of what happened, the new tools and insights the teachers developed, and the impact this has had on the children's behaviour, learning and achievement.
If that circle is our class, Lucy and Gabby, what we tried to do was to put ourselves where we saw ourselves in the class. It's where you feel you are in our class today. Have a good look, see if you're happy, either leave your pebble or move it. Why did you feel you wanted to move that?
Because I feel like that I've got lots of fun.
You wanted to put yourself right in the centre of things. Is that what you're saying?
It's a bit off, it's just a little bit off the centre.
Okay. Do you feel differently, Kieran?
A little bit, because some other people I've been noticing have been a lot nicer to me than they actually usually are.
The teacher's focus shifted from the individual to the issues of belonging and inclusion. They began to see how difficult behaviour was everyone's responsibility and needed everyone's help to sort out. They explored the power of different kinds of group membership: gender, family situations, race, religion and culture, and how paralysing it could be when a child didn't feel included. Some children transferred feelings of exclusion from home to school that often set off conflict, and they were hugely helped when they were specially welcomed at school.
When we first did the groupings, I started them off with similar to what we did today, sock colour and other things, and then I led it gradually towards if you live with both parents or one parent, because one little boy's parents had just recently split up, literally the week before. He was obviously a bit wobbly and a bit thrown by the whole situation, and he's having to move house. So we did that, and at the end of the session he came up to me and said that he hadn't realised that there were other people that also lived with just one parent. And later that week his mum came in to see me and thanked me for doing it, and he seemed much happier within himself, and just at the knowledge that he wasn't the only one.
Central to the systemic approach is an expanded understanding of the power of conscience, that inner organ of balance everyone has, to keep us bonded to each of the systems we belong to. It tells us if our actions endanger that belonging or bring us safety. It supplies loyalty and supports belonging and rich exchange between people. But it can also compel children into playing a role in keeping their systems in balance, even in a damaging way for them as individuals. To enhance the learning atmosphere in the classroom, the teachers brought in a range of new practices to give class ownership of the emotional issues in the room. They each created a class mobile so the children could see how any change in any individual affected everyone. They used charts to register the shifting feelings in the classrooms, feelings thermometers they called them. The children began to take collective ownership of the atmosphere that learning required.
When I was making this mobile with my son, who's 12, it took a long time, and he was watching me. And I was saying that I was going to be working with teachers, and that the point of it was that if somebody in the class was unhappy or was behaving in a way that was not in balance with the rest of the class, and that if you imagined you had a weight on here, the rest of the class is affected. And it was like it kind of such a simple idea, but to him he saw that he was one of many children in a classroom, and the sense that actually he was connected to each and every one in that class. And of course that's an incredibly simple shift in thinking, that what I do affects everything here, and that what any one of you do affects everything here. But even beyond that, that one behaviour of a child, it's not just up to that child to change, but it becomes the whole responsibility of the whole system. That the system can change and have an effect on the one individual. Incredibly simple, but very powerful shift when you're actually working with children, because it means that for a start you can move away from blaming the individual, and you're moving more into what can we do, because we're all connected, what can we do with a particular child's behaviour.
This is the feelings thermometer for Year 5. We use our pegs and we put it on whatever feeling we're on. When somebody from our class is on sad, then it means that we can help to cheer them up. But if they're on something like happy, then that's great.
Once a week in a circle time activity for about 20 minutes, the rainbow chart is brought into the discussion, And for example, if there's 3 or 4 children on the cloud, which is the negative feeling, not necessarily sad, they'll be encouraged to say why. If they don't want to, they don't have to. And sometimes if a child is on the cloud, we'll also suggest ways of moving them back towards the sunshine. Sometimes at the end of a circle time, they will physically move themselves back towards the sunshine.
The teachers also focused on the vital importance of respect, the support they all felt from having others who had been there before and others to pass their experience on to. They found it became easier to respect someone when their context was better known. Some teachers used the act of bowing as a ritual to help children feel their respectful place with others, even when their beliefs or abilities were different. Children learn, or fail to learn, with their whole beings and bodies. The teachers worked with them at this level too. The teachers provided time for children to engage in simple meditation practices, tuning into their breath or a candle, so that they could be more present and able to concentrate on learning.
Now think about your body. Think about your head, your neck. Let it rest. Think about your hands and your arms. Let them rest. Now just concentrate on your breathing. Think about your breath as it goes in and your breath as it goes out.
Everything we did, there was a positive in each situation. I mean, we've done the grouping and the calming session. But one of the times, it was one particular day, we've got a feelings board and the kids can write on a post-it what they're feeling. And one particular girl had written that she was frustrated, angry, fed up, which was very, very negative comments. And it was before lessons, and Jackie did the calming session, and after we finished, I sort of said to the kids, you know, how do you feel now? And this girl put her hand up and she said, I need to change myself on the feelings board. And she wrote a new post-it, and I can't remember what it was, but it was I'm happy, excited, relaxed.
Yeah, ready to learn.
And I was like, wow, where did that come from, you know? I mean, the feelings board is brilliant because you know, you can just at a glance look and think, somebody's been on the feeling low.
And if they're feeling really low, they go off the boards, don't they? Right down onto the wall. So, bottom. And if they're feeling really happy, they go right off the top. We keep trying to say, no, stay on the board. And they don't, they put their post-its right up high.
Like Becky, I felt very uncomfortable about the bowing when we did it here. But actually I thought it was brilliant. And as the wave of young people faced the year above them, and then the whole of the school faced us, and the whole of the school then bowed to the staff that were at the back. I felt as an adult, not anything to do with education, just as an adult, a great wave of responsibility for these young people who were looking towards us for help, for advice, guidance, support, and all those things. 74 faces looked towards us, and that was 74 people that were thinking, you know, you are going to help me, aren't you? You're going to be there for me.
And I guess it's been useful because of the period we're in coming up to SATs. It's really given them the chance to talk about being anxious about it, how they were feeling, and it made me realise that just how distressed some children were about it, which I think would have been lost normally because, yeah, you know there's a degree of anxiety, but I might not have stopped and listened to individuals expressing it in the way they've been able to.
Just making them understand that other people have feelings and, I can't say baggage, but things that happen to them and they bring into the class. And that, we've had conversations about the fact that if you're upset with so-and-so, you're going to be more worried about that and can't actually focus on what you're doing. So, because again, the mobile and secret friend and other things give them a vehicle to articulate it and realise that other people need support, and if other people need support, maybe they need support.
It's definitely enriched the writing. The writing, the SATs writing that they had to do, I'm so proud. Get it published. It's just gorgeous stuff.
It's like a bond, it's like a confidence thing that if they're happy, learning just comes.
I've gained so much from everybody who's here, and it just makes me realise that so much about children is eroded in the schools. It makes me realise that I just want to keep striving to give those children the right to hold on to who they are and, their sense of place and their sense of belonging, and to be able to value it in all its forms.